What do we have at the foundation of the reading, please? High Priestess, Pisces energy at the foundation of the reading. So the energy I've been getting around the collective recently is an energy where I feel individuals are starting to feel abandoned by your transformation. And I feel a lot of this has to do with the fact that you are using your voice in some capacity, some sort of expression of yourself that individuals haven't seen before. It's like they're seeing a side of you that they never knew was actually there. And there's something quite threatening about your evolution inside this new energy. It's making people feel unworthy. It's making people feel exposed, and they simply do not know how to process it. Now, I feel for a lot of you, this is going to be friends, family. Okay, I'm hearing even exes. Okay, so people that maybe ruled you out or didn't give you a proper chance in some capacity are now looking back, realizing that they have missed out on something that they didn't see about you when they had access to you. Now, with this High Priestess at the root chakra of the reading, this is representing how people are seeing you. People are seeing you with this newfound sense of purpose. And there's also an energy of divine guidance here as well. You know, I feel that you've gotten to a point in your life, or this is where you're heading, just depends where you are on the timeline, where you're coming into alignment. You're calibrating with your mission, so to speak. It's taken a lot of work to get here. And what you have to understand is very few people, if any at all, are going to support you inside this space because it makes them feel small. And it's not as though you are trying to make people feel that way. I just feel you're trying to exist. But they think that you think you're too good for them now. But that's simply not the case here. It's a part of the process. It's the sad realization that the universe needs you to accept when you are on this path. This is not a path for individuals who aren't ready to accept the dark truths surrounding some of your lives and see people for who they really are, who they've always been. This is what this kind of path brings. Though it's a highly blessed path, it's not for the spiritually weak, is what I just heard. This takes strength, it takes courage, it takes patience, it takes connection, right? That connection between you and spirit. Because it's that connection that gives you the faith and hope to keep going, to keep pushing forward in an otherwise seemingly dark world. But it's not the world itself that is dark. It's the lie that's dark. It's the illusion. That's all man-made. That has nothing to do with the world. That has nothing to do with spirit. It has to do with some sort of opposing force. The opposing force that you are starting to see very clearly in your own lives now. You see where the light begins and the darkness ends. And this is simply not something that everybody has access to, because in order to access this, you have to be prepared to accept the truth about the reality of this third density that we live in. Most aren't ready to accept that. They'd rather stay mainlined to the lie than to actually see what lurks beneath. And for those of you who have dug deeper, are now being positioned in a space where other people simply cannot access you in the capacity they once could. There are people here that want to reattach you to your traumas, the way they once knew you, the parts of you that they knew, the parts of you that maybe they could control by way of these traumas. But Saturn, which is now in Aries, is flushing these energies out of the shadows, showing you them for who they really are. I'm also hearing something about a number of you feeling tired. You might be suffering with insomnia right now. This is all because there's some sort of energetic intrusion attempting to retether you to these energies. You're rising, they're not, and they're basically grabbing onto your ankles, energetically speaking. That's the simplest way I can put this. What do we have at the sacral spirit? Unbelievable. You're rising, they're not. Mars, Aries, Scorpio energy at the sacral. You know, this tower follows the High Priestess perfectly. I basically spoke it into existence because this is showing us that the foundation by which you once believed your life was built on is crumbling. See, a lot of people cannot handle this when this takes place, right? Of course, the tower isn't fun. It's a breaking down of everything you once knew because it doesn't serve you anymore. But it's always for the best, even though it may not seem that way in the moment. Typically, It doesn't. Some people can prepare themselves for this. Some people know they're going through it, and it can make it easier to navigate that space. But let's face it, most people push back against this energy because they're not ready with what they're being guided to do in accordance with this tower that is being broken down in their life. It's a space where spirit needs to kind of move you out of the way, and that can be very uncomfortable. There's a reorganization taking place behind the scenes. It's very hard to see what's going on and what's coming your way. All you can see is a kind of chaos erupting all around your personal relationships, maybe the structure of your life, where you live, jobs, relationships, all of this stuff. And this is exactly what this transit is bringing. But for those of you who have been putting the work in, you're aware of this and you're prepared for this. It's like you're out in the middle of the ocean on a surfboard and there's this massive wave coming through. You have two options. You can swim toward it and try and duck dive underneath it, or you can prepare yourself and you can ride the crest of that wave, and it'd be one of the most exhilarating times of your life. And I feel that that's what a lot of you are preparing to do. You're ready. You're breaking down any sort of structures in your life that are keeping you mainline to any sort of fear. And that's why you are sitting right on top of this tower. You're not going to be beneath the rubble at all. You know that lightning bolt is coming down, and you're going to use it to power yourself. And see, it's genius how we have the tower, right? Which is, like I said, the destruction of any sort of false securities. But then there's the temptation, right? The apple tree and the serpent. It's like that's what's being broken down in your life, the temptations. But it doesn't always show up the way you would expect. It can be a temptation to go back to what's comfortable, the people, the places, the things, basically everything that you've always known. You know what to expect there, whether good or bad, you just know what it's going to look like. And that's exactly why Spirit is removing you from that space, because it's old, it's worn out, it's tired. There's no more growth to be had there. You've done your time. And the thing is, about these individuals that you're having to leave behind is that you're beginning to realize that they're the same ones that whine about not seeing some sort of breakthrough in their life. They're the ones who quit every time something gets hard. They're the ones who say comments like, I've been waiting for God to prepare a table for me my whole life and it hasn't happened yet. But what they don't realize is you get there by enduring the struggle, by enduring that kind of wilderness, so to speak. These people claim to have faith, but they always fold, right? When things don't show up exactly when they want them, the way they want them. If you give up every time it gets hard, you're actually not waiting on God to prepare that table. You're waiting on it to be easy, right? They're the ones who are always talking about what they're going to do. But when it actually comes time to do it, they give up. Right? And then they always say things like, God never did anything for me. They take all of these things that people use to give them hope and faith that they will get a breakthrough, and then they weaponize them, right? And let's just call a spade here, all right? These kinds of people, even though they may not fully realize this yet, are going against the divine order. They are agents of, well, they're agents of the underworld as far as I'm concerned, because they make it seem like those things are unattainable to the people who haven't yet had the chance to go after them. So having said that, you need to be very careful with who you surround yourself with. I feel that a lot of you have been surrounded by people that want you to think that your dreams are fantasy, unattainable. Now, this aligns perfectly with this Saturn through Aries transit, because this is the time when you really need to ask yourself, am I going to do this for real? Or am I just going to keep talking about it and surrounding myself with people who aren't really encouraging me to go after these things? Sure, maybe they act like they do, but when it comes down to it, when you actually start making moves, you see something very interesting happen. You see an almost squirmy-like behavior from them. Something is stirred deep down inside of them that makes you feel you're not supported in the environments that you're in. And in order to pull off what it is you are being guided to do here, what you feel calling you from within, you need to make some serious changes. And until you do so, you're essentially going against the grain. It's like pushing towards something, trying to accomplish something, but you're going the wrong way without even knowing it, energetically speaking, because the energies you have in your life are constantly trying to pull you backwards every time you are trying to move forward. What do we have of the solar plexus, Spirit? And there it is, Page of Swords. Okay, so just like I said, Saturn is flushing these energies out, right? And this follows what I said perfectly about you noticing something about these people and their reaction to your forward movement. There's people talking. These people have something to say about what you're doing, the decisions you're making, and it's surprising to you in some capacity, or you just feel it in the energy. You don't feel supported, which is something that you couldn't have prepared yourself for. It's like talking about doing something for so long, preparing yourself, and then the day comes, and you're like, okay, I'm ready, I'm going. And you expect a kind of celebration, you expect support, you expect a congratulations, a good luck from those that you think care about you, and you're met with something completely opposite. And what you soon realize is that these individuals just never thought that that day would come, that you would actually get this far. And now the truth is you need to walk the rest of that journey alone. You can't take anyone with you. And there seems like there's a pretty heavy pull here to get you to give up with this realization that you have to take this journey alone. This is what Saturn brings into your life with this transit. There's no more playing around, right? It's like Saturn has shown up outside your house, sitting in the car waiting for you. Come on, let's get out of here. It's time to go. Meanwhile, everything that you've always known is doing everything it can to stop you from getting in that car. And you know that if you don't go out there right now, you're going to miss out on the first day of the rest of your life. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow. 10 of Pentacles in reverse. See, the cards are following what I'm saying here, okay? 10 of Pentacles in reverse, Virgo energy. This is as clear gets, okay? This speaks about a loss of community, even family for some of you. And it also speaks about you having to walk this path alone. There's loss connected to this. This is this false sense of security. You know, this entire energy here is an energy of you breaking generational conditioning, generational karma, generational curses, however you want to put it. They're all essentially in and around the same thing, okay? But this is you breaking these false securities down in your life, even though people have something to say about it. And then the 10 of Pentacles is the result. The loss of these false securities. This is you walking away from something here, very clear. But this is your admission fee into this new life. See, a lot of people want this. They ask for it. They pray for it. They meditate on it. They do all the manifestation rituals to bring it through, but when it shows up, it's an entirely different story. Because you still have this part of you that almost thinks it's fantasy, that it won't actually show up. Because you're so used to things being a certain way. So when it does show up, it's like, oh my God, it worked. And you know, this has been coming through in the readings lately. People praying for things, and then when it shows up, it's like, you know what, I think I'm good, right? But this is all a part of breaking out of these cycles. The final step is you being faced with just how incredibly strong the conditioning, the programming has been this entire time. Right? The blessing shows up and there's something inside of you on a soul level that doesn't want to let go, even though you had been manifesting it into your life like you did. It's that final step. It's that final hurdle. So you have to feel that the universe needs you to see how deep this really goes. And those of you that have been through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's sort of like when all your hopes and dreams show up in some capacity, right? Or just the possibility that, I think I might be able to do this. But there's something foreign that is trying to get you to reject that. It's parasitical. It's something that doesn't belong to you. It's tethered to something old, ancient, karmic, cyclical. It's something that has been hiding inside of you that you didn't arrive with, just kind of jumped on for the ride somewhere along the way. And see, that's what trauma is, right? It's what hitched a ride when you were too young to even notice. And the way this connects to exactly what I'm picking up here is that conditioning, right? The trauma is the conditioning, big or small. Could be obvious, it could be hidden. But a lot of times the deepest traumas are the traumas that are hidden. It's deep down inside our nervous system. And it's during moments like this that we actually see it. It's like putting a spotlight on a scared, naked demon curled up in the fetal position in a dark room. You didn't even know it was there. But it's subconscious, I feel, for a lot of you. It's something that's buried in the deep recesses of your mind. It tries to poke at you when you try to make moves to empower yourself. It tries to re-engage with your energy and stop your forward momentum. What do we have at the throat? Too many cards. What do we have at the throat? Wow, the chariot. There's going to be a card for forward momentum. The chariot would definitely be one of them. Look, you're getting in the literal chariot, right? Getting ready to move forward. And then these energies are coming back through, trying to reconnect that cord to you, trying to reinfect you with that parasite that Saturn is flushing out of you right now, that you didn't even know was there in this capacity. See, this is an old kind of frequency that's dying, and parasites don't go quietly when the host stops feeding them. They squirm, a kind of chaos erupts. You start to feel more energy flooding through. You start to feel less foggy. Things are clearer, right? But because they're not feeding off your energy anymore, they're starting to drain out. See, the parasite is just metaphorical to the way these individuals have been draining you spiritually. For a lot of you as well, it's not just people, it's mindsets, behavioral patterns. It's going to be all of these things, to be honest with you. They're all compounded together. It's like your body and your soul are trying to catch up to each other now. This is what's taking place. There's a recalibration of spirit, of the physical, of your mind. It's like all of these things are coming into a kind of alignment that you have never even been aware of you needed. See, you've gotten to a point where you're beginning to vibrate too high because this newfound sense of awareness, and it's impossible for them to access you any longer. And this is why there's so much chaos surrounding the field. They're not used to this. They never saw this coming, whether it's spiritual, whether it's literal people. There's always going to be principalities connected to this. See, people act out the way they do because of a spiritual kind of tethering to those principalities, those systems of control that want to keep people indoctrinated into, well, it's a kind of sin, right? But this is what you've become aware of now, at least enough to start making moves. You just know, right? Okay, I'm getting pretty dull ringing in my ear right now, but I look down at the chariot and I was focused on the expression on his face. It's almost as if he's like, oh man, I don't know what I'm doing here, but all I know is I need to do it. Something is telling me that this is just what I have to do. And I feel that that really speaks about what a lot of you are going through right now. It's what this feels like. You're never going to have it all worked out. These big breakthroughs always come on the other side of you going, I don't know what I'm doing or why I'm doing this. All I know is that I need to do this. Something is guiding me to go this direction. So having said that, for those of you that are scared, for those of you that are worried about the way things are going to look, good, okay? That means you're exactly where you need to be right now. Feel it. Embrace it. It's okay. Your vulnerability inside of that space is the necessary component to get this breakthrough, because this is you completely letting go and allowing faith to carry you, allowing spirit to catch you. It's like spirit is saying to you, hey, we know that you're scared, but the only way we can get you out of there is if you just take a leap of faith. We can't come over there and physically pick you up and carry you over, wrapped in velvet, into this new beginning because of your free will. You've got to take that leap of faith. You've got to take that first step. Once you do that, then we've got you. We've got you. And then right on the bottom of the deck, 3 of Wands. Hangman, letting go, seeing things from a perspective where, well, Hangman's all about seeing things from a higher perspective. But it's like, in order to access your mission statement, so to speak, you've got to think about things from a universal vantage point. Okay, I just heard, what would Spirit do in the situation you're in? What would God do, right? Just really depends on who you look to for your supreme being. But simply put, what would the higher power do in the position that you are in within your life right now? And then decide how to move, right? And then this Three of Wands here. Energy of pursuing the unknown. Aries energy. Also an energy of travel. So there might be things, places that a lot of you are being guided to move toward right now. Too many cards. What do we have at the Devil? Wow. Unbelievable. I'm not surprised he showed up. This is what lurks beneath. This is that parasitical tether, right? It's like, I don't know what I'm doing, but all I know is I need to do this. And then boom, all of a sudden, oh yeah? You're like, what? The devil? Mom? Dad? Whoa. This is just basically representing everything that you've always known, right? The things that keep you tethered, right? See, there's all these sort of, the imagery back there, it almost looks like a nightmare, right? For some of you, I mean, devil can represent lust as well. So for a lot of you, that's going to have to do with a toxic relationship that you're being guided to move on from, or maybe this energy is trying to come back. But again, it can just also speak about the things that you've always known that you're being guided to remove yourself from, right? The devil overall is just an energy of bondage, but this is you reclaiming your power and breaking free from this. And see, here's the thing. This devil is sitting right there at the third eye, okay? Third eye is all connected to your intuition, high priestess energy. And the home position for that high priestess is where the devil is sitting, which is interesting because these are in each other's position. The home position for the devil is the root chakra, Capricorn energy, the material world, right? Obviously, it doesn't all have to be bad, right? It just represents the third density, things that are material in nature. But it also represents toxic energies and patterns that try to keep you shackled to your lower chakras. But this high priestess being here at the foundation where the devil would essentially be is you having illumination around what has been holding you back this entire time. See, now this reading is really starting to come together. There's a cohesion that we're starting to see here now. Capricorn, Saturn, the Tower, Aries, Saturn in Aries, with this Piscean influence illuminating the truth to you. Spirit saying, we are showing you very clearly now what you're dealing with. We are showing you the path forward, even though you can't see very far down that path. You want out? You want to manifest this dream? You want to live in power and purpose, in alignment with your mission as a means to fulfill your destiny? Well, jump in. Otherwise, stop complaining and stay where you are. That's Saturnian energy, unforgiving. It bulldozes through the BS, shows you what's what, doesn't sit around and wait for you, doesn't coddle you. It says, you've done the work, now let's go. And this devil energy right there at the third eye is what's being exposed to you. This is the veil being ripped back. This is you seeing everything for what it truly is, with nothing to hide. It's like Spirit saying, okay, This is where the devil exists in your life. Are you going to stay there and allow that energy to suck off you like a parasite for the rest of your life? Or are you going to do something about it? Right on the bottom of the deck, Eight of Swords. Unbelievable. So the Eight of Swords is all about self-imposed restrictions, right? But this Eight of Swords here is a little different because you're leaving this energy. You see where the restriction in your life exists now, and you're no longer allowing this energy to keep you captive. It's like this is the divine, right? Coming and cutting you out of this. They're like, all right, let's go. I'm also hearing something about Stockholm Syndrome, right? So it's like developing some sort of positive feelings towards this particular situation. Right? It's like spirit showing up, exposing the truth to you. And you go, oh, well, I don't know, maybe it's not that bad, right? Because you're scared to move forward into the unknown. Now, this is highly common, okay? So if you have dealt with anything like this, it's okay. You don't need to beat yourself up over that, okay? The truth is most people do deal with that, especially when it's this deeply embedded into your life, into your core. It's what you've always known. It's why that saying exists, right? Stockholm Syndrome. It's like being born into abuse. It's all you know. Being born into trauma, being programmed a certain way, and then all of a sudden spirit comes through, wants to rewire some things, right? It's like spirit saying to you, hey, don't freak out, but the wrong software was installed from the moment of inception. But we're here now. We've got the update. We're going to install this new software. But everything that you have ever known is going to completely change. But the good news is you're going to be in perfect alignment with your path. Everything that you've ever wanted for yourself, all those things that have been calling you from the deep depths of your soul, which is basically that programming wanted to run the way it's supposed to run. Well, you can access all of that now, but you're going to have to say goodbye to all of this because all of this is actually working against you being the greatest version of yourself that you could possibly ever be on any timeline. When the programming was installed, they programmed a frequency into you that was too low. So you were forced to live out a good portion of your life from a lower vibrational frequency, which had a direct impact on how you interfaced with your reality because you created your reality based on that lower vibrational frequency that was programmed into you. What do we have at the crown, please, Spirit? Wow. 10 of Pentacles again at the crown, but now it's in an upright. And look at this. We have 10 of Pentacles here in reverse, right? Which is representing the loss of this community that was never in alignment with your highest good, right? This is that alternative programming. It's like experiencing life from a lower vibrational frequency, right? But then Spirit installs the new software and it's like you're reborn. And see how there's, well, it's just you as a child. It's like you're alone on this new timeline, accessing your real blessings. It's like this is the upside down, right? This is the right side up. And that right there is a perfect example of what it feels like when you're going through this process. You're still here. You're still existing in this world, but the way you interface with it is completely different. And that right there is the key component to align with these blessings. You go from a complete illusion, basically chasing a lie on a sort of hamster wheel, never getting anywhere, to now being able to access all of these things that have been calling you from within. It's like that echo. It's you on another timeline. It's like your higher self calling out to you like, hey, I'm waiting for you here. You got to wake up. Those things aren't just dreams. That's actually you trying to send you visions of you, visions of me, your higher self, where I am right now, where I'm trying to get you to. See, I can't move on. This is your higher self speaking until I get you to where I am. Once I get you to where I am, then I can move on to the next level and then pull you up to that level. See, your higher self, that's future you. It's a little further down the track than you. You know, when we think about timelines, whenever we hear about this, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about other versions of you that are a little further into the future. It's like you arrive at this new timeline. And there's almost like this sense of, well, it's like deja vu, which is also a big part of this process. And that deja vu, that's just an echo of your higher self because you've already been there. That deja vu is a representation of the benchmark that you have just crossed. And that's what's on the other side of this devil. That's what it takes. That breaking free is not easy, but it's necessary. Be mindful of the people around you who say things like, God doesn't do anything for me, right? The only reason God doesn't do anything for them is because they don't do anything for themselves. See, God is not going to move what you are unwilling to lift. You won't shift if you don't let go. See, people think that God is a genie, right? He's not a genie. He's your guide. He doesn't bless avoidance. He blesses movement. People want these miracles to come into their life, but they're too afraid to look in the mirror, period. What do we have at the foundation of the reading, please, Spirit? Wow, unbelievable. Eight of Wands. The cards are following what I'm saying. The Eight of Wands from this deck is an energy of delays, right? Holding back. No movement. I'm also hearing something here about individuals who are constantly trying to escape because, again, they don't want to look into that mirror, metaphorically speaking, of course. And this is what a lot of you have noticed now. You can't avoid this truth anymore. You want change. You want access, right? You want access to what you feel just in the depths of your soul. It's like that feeling, right? Can't even put your finger on it. It's just something's there. It's almost beyond words. You just feel it just scratching at your soul. Let me in. Let me in. Come on. It's like knowing something is right in front of you, but you just can't quite grab it and pull it through and keep it there, right? It's like when you have that moment of divine revelation and you feel like you've just had this universal epiphany. You've figured it all out. And then a moment later, it's gone. This is what you are starting to see now. You see that there's something to that echo, that there's something to that inner voice that's calling you. You know that it's the other side. You know that it's home. You know that that's where you're supposed to be. And where you're at is looking more and more foreign, no matter how long you've been there, because you're seeing the cracks. You're seeing what you weren't able to see before. High Priestess, right? In between worlds. You see where the darkness ends and the light begins. Right? It's like this guy right here. God's never done anything for me. What do we have at the sacral, please, Spirit? The Chariot, again. Cancer energy. Very different than this Chariot. This is Chariot in its shadow. This is that energy of giving up. See, these energies are trying to avert this disaster from taking place, right? For a lot of you, this may not have happened yet. Of course, you're all going to be on different parts of the timeline, but it's like the breakthrough is here. The temptation is here. That didn't work, right? This just represents a lot of what this devil energy is. Everything you've ever known. And now the mask has been ripped back so you see the truth, which can be terrifying, seeing people for who they really are, something that you can never quite prepare yourself for. because it's always far more sinister than you can even really comprehend in that moment. You know, this is also the kind of illumination that is had on the other side of spirit installing that new programming, right? Which is a way of speaking metaphorically about the way you interface with your reality. You simply see reality differently now. You're not engaging with it the way you once did. So there's a split. Here you are having this whole new sense of self in your reality, and these other individuals are still in that old sort of programming. And that right there, that can be terrifying, because there's no way for you to even explain to them what's taking place. And so you know that the only thing you can do is leave them where they're at, because the only thing that got you out of where you were was your choice to do so, was you getting in that car with Saturn, so to speak, right? And this chariot here is all of these actions these individuals will take, right? It's like they'll go to the greatest extremes to stop you from moving forward. They want you to give up on this hope, on this dream, on this idea. They want you to suppress the urge to be better, because they know that if they're not able to succeed at doing that, well, it's bad news for them, because it puts a spotlight on everything that is broken and unevolved inside of them. And now they have to live with that. You've become a mirror that they want to shatter. What do we have at the solar plexus, please, Spirit? Wow. You know, the Eight of Wands and the Chariot, both of these energies are about movement. From this deck, it's the complete opposite, right? Like I mentioned. But as I'm looking at this Chariot, it almost looks like the mirror, right? It's like something is being splattered against the mirror, right? It's like they look in the mirror and they see a distortion of themselves. And it's like, it looks like this demon is swinging a sword back. They see the distortion of themselves, and now they want to shatter any traces of that distortion. It says right there, sower of discord, slayer of men. So that just really speaks about the lengths they will go to in order to stop you from moving forward. And then we get the Seven of Wands, Leo energy, which follows that energy perfectly, because the Seven of Wands is an energy that, again, is trying to get you to give up. All of this energy here reads the same. Now, this Seven of Wands can also speak about multiple energies trying to get you to give up. It just really depends what your situation is. But they want to make you feel so overwhelmed, so just weighed down, so scared and fearful that you throw in the towel, that you doubt what spirit is showing you, that you doubt what you feel. And that Seven of Wands is right underneath that Page of Swords. See how this Page of Swords, we can only see his back? So it's like they're talking behind your back, right? Pay attention to any sort of heat around your left ear, okay? Some of you may get this, some of you may not, but this is an indication that there's people speaking about you. I felt the need to tell you that. For others of you, you just sense it. You can feel it. It's in the field. You know, the deeper message there as well in regards to the heat around the left ear could be that a number of you are having new gifts come online as well. And it doesn't surprise me. It comes with the territory. When you're going through an evolution of this capacity that I'm picking up here for a lot of you, this is when you start to access new sort of gifts, right? New abilities, so to speak, because you're more closely connected to source and spirit. What do we have at the heart, please, Spirit? Hangman says right there, spiritual troubles. So See how there's this figure standing here and it looks like they have their skin hanging off their arm? This is just a metaphorical representation of the exposure that's taking place around these individuals that you're being guided to let go of, right? The individuals that seemingly had ulterior motives surrounding you and your life this entire time. The hangman from this deck is an energy that represents traitors. There can also be people here that are playing victim, right? Trying to make you feel guilty. Pay attention to when people do this, when you're preparing to have breakthroughs in your life. No matter how these people are exposing themselves right now, I just feel that everything is becoming very obvious to you. It's very clear. There should really be no question in your mind, all right? That's, again, what this transit is bringing. The energies are being flushed out of the shadows. You're seeing people for who they really are. I'm seeing this vision in my mind's eye right now of this individual grabbing you, right? The individual grabbing you is Saturn, let's just say. Saturn's shaking you. Saturn's saying, open your eyes and look at what I'm showing you. You don't want to open your eyes. You don't want to see it. Saturn's like, no, I'm going to show you the truth. Open your eyes. And when you open your eyes, you see somebody, right? Like you're a fly on the wall. It's like Saturn has taken you around into these people's lives. Like you're a fly on the wall. They don't know you're there. It's like you're getting insight. Maybe these people are talking about you, or maybe they're doing things that you didn't even ever think these people were involved in, right? It's like you're seeing these people for who they really are. That's what this energy is. Saturn shaking you, saying, open your eyes and look at what I'm showing you. Now, are you going to accept that? Or are you going to do what you need to do and come with me, right? That's the energy now. Again, it's unforgiving, okay? But let's face it. What else did you expect, right? It's like, look how much work you've put in. And this is where we've gotten to now. This is the graduation. This is everything you've ever heard about here right now. And the only thing that stands in the way of you stepping into that new timeline is your willingness to accept the truth of what's being shown to you. Red pill, blue pill, right? You want to accept the truth and move forward? Or do you want to continue to accept the lie and stay asleep? And then we have the Knight of Cups. It says right there, perception and revelation, right? So this is the great revelation. It's like sensory information is being organized and interpreted into a conscious experience in order for you to break through this barrier of illusion. Spirit is helping you make sense of the world and the way you interface with it around this newfound sense of self, right? The new software. It's like you're converting new raw sensory data. It's like your mind is trying to accept truth. And I get it. It's hard, you know. Really depends on what it is that Spirit is showing you, but it's paradigm shifting for a lot of you. But it's necessary, and it will be worth it. What do we have at the throat, please, Spirit? And look who decided to leave the party. The devil. Here he is, right? Here he is leaving. Because you've spotted where this energy exists in your life. Devil surrounding this chariot right here. You know, it's one of these situations where when you think about it from a spiritual perspective, right? Like, how would this all look from the spiritual world? It's like Saturn takes you over there, like, okay, you ready for this? Takes you behind the scenes, so to speak, right? And you see this big, slithering Jabba the Hutt-like creature with tentacles on it, and all these souls trapped in cages, and he's just feeding off all of them. And all those souls are connected to real-life people, and one of them is you. That's what this is like. And that entity, it not only has tentacles in all of these people, but it controls them too. It's parasitical. So these people do its bidding. They act out its desires. And that entity feeds off of the fear, which is an energy. This is you seeing that now. And it's like all at once, you're able to compartmentalize. You're like, wow, makes perfect sense. It's like every time I felt like I was going to have a breakthrough, I just had a flood of fear. I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. Yeah, it's because every time you're getting ready to have a breakthrough, that entity can feel the tether it has to you, right? Being pulled taut, like it's about to break. So it starts sending its agents after you. All the other people that it has tentacles in start coming for you. It's like that entity is saying, you got to get down there and you got to stop them from trying to break free by any means necessary. That entity is this devil energy. Don't ever underestimate the way this energy shows up in our lives. It's all around, it's everywhere. Lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, all the other deadly sins. That's how it accesses us. So when that ex tries to come back from the past, they're looking tempting, they're looking good. Just know that on that spiritual plane, they look a whole lot like Jabba the Hutt. They were sent into your life to make sure that you don't get away. And what a perfect depiction of what I just said, right? Go into their life and make sure that they are overcome with the spirit of lust so they don't get away. And this is not easy to overcome. It's a never-ending battle. But the better you understand how this energy works, the easier it becomes in time. We all make mistakes, but just be careful of the mistakes you know you are consciously making that are based in one of these 7 deadly sins. And if you do make a mistake, you got to get up and you got to keep pushing again. Don't allow that shame, that guilt to consume you. The universe, God, spirit doesn't punish you. This is a huge misconception. It's something that is really pushed in this world we live in. If that was the case, we wouldn't get anywhere. The divine says, okay, well, you stumbled. You made a bit of a mistake there, but let's go ahead and get back up and keep pushing. Okay, try not to do it again because you're going to fall back down in that space and we're going to be at this for a really long time. That's how the divine works with you. The divine doesn't punish you. Karma, or karmic consequences rather, are like the steps you have to take to get yourself out of that situation. It just is. It's law. There's no way around that. But the more you understand how that works, the less likely you are to make these mistakes. Right on the bottom of the deck, we have the Tower, okay? So it's like here you are getting the memo, the truth of how this really works. Disruption, warns of disasters, aids in transformation. What do we have at the third eye? The Hermit, Virgo energy at the third eye. Alchemy and transformation. Rules natural events, helps with spiritual progress. Now, this Hermit card at the third eye is representing you and your connection to Source and how you find your way forward by accessing your inner guidance. It's all about introspection, finding your way forward by going inward and understanding the basic laws of the universe. Every decision we make comes with a consequence or an elevation. And the only thing that can truly stop you from picking yourself up and pushing forward is being consumed by the shame of the mistakes that we all make. See, the devil wants to tell you that's who you are, right? The devil wants you to be consumed with that shame and guilt, so you stay right there. But all you have to do is remember that you weren't born with any of this, right? It goes back to what I've been saying about the parasitical energy. You didn't arrive with it, it jumped on for the ride. These things, they just kind of cling on in silence. And then it calls itself you. I am you. This is who you are now. You just need to live with it. But hopefully after this channeling, you'll know better. All right, what do we have at the crown to close this out, please, Spirit? Too many cards. Five of Cups, Empress. Energy of moving on. Hope. Returning. Too many cards. Hangman. Again. We have it twice. It says right there, desire for knowledge. Protects from liars, evil spells, and bad spirits. So this follows what we said perfectly, right? The devil trying to tell you who you are, right? It's a kind of spell. You fall for the temptation, and then you have to sit with the shame and guilt of having done so. And the devil telling you that's who you are, but you understanding that the divine knows that we're all going to make mistakes. It's not about the mistakes. That doesn't matter. It's about getting back up and pushing forward. What a lot of you are dealing with here, just need to know that this is what everybody is dealing with. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to pick yourself up and keep going. It was never about being perfect. And see, that's another big misconception. There's this narrative that's been injected into the collective, right? You're going to burn in hell and God's going to reprimand you and all these sorts of things, all right? And it's simply not true. God is forgiving and loving, and you have free will. You are a direct reflection on how God interfaces with you, right? So when it comes to your relationship and God's source energy, you're the one who says how that goes down. God's source is always there waiting for you when you want to have that relationship, but it's up to you to show up. So having said all that, no matter what it is, just keep getting up, keep pushing forward. Eventually, you'll break through. And hopefully, this channeling provides you with a bit of insight into what you can look forward to. Because based on what we are seeing here, with this 10 of Pentacles stacked with this hangman at the crown, you have a whole lot to look forward to. This is generational wealth. These are divine blessings, and this is you accessing them. But this is what you need to overcome to be able to get there. This is your treasure on the other side. And this is very real. I'm not just saying this. So however this shows up in your life, I hope that you were able to take some encouragement and some sound guidance from this reading. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this here. All right, this is what I have for all of you. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, turn on your notifications. Information from personal readings can be found down below. Also, if you would like to access additional content on my channel, you can join the membership section where I upload additional videos every month. And for those of you who haven't checked out my store yet, the links can also be found down below. And lastly, if this reading resonates with you, leave me a heart and/or a comment, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Take care.